What's going on, guys? This is DaWoblefet, and welcome to Mechanics Monday. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, all games that don't exclusively use your time are forced to have a 20-minute match timer running in the background. Many singles players have been frustrated by this, as slower games often don't get to resolve properly, forcing bizarre workarounds or, more likely, discouraging 66 single battles on cartridge. I wanted to see if I could abuse that 20 minutes for fun, though. Is there a way to make it so a single turn lasts the full 20 minutes by combining obscure mechanics together? Huge shoutouts to fellow battle mechanics researcher Anubis for helping me come up with the scenarios involved, get the necessary Pokemon in-game, and completing the test with me. You'll notice I'm doing a lot of waiting here at the start. In order to maximize the amount of time spent each turn, I'm going to want to generate as many situations as possible where the player has the ability to take time to enter their moves. Move selection is one opportunity to take a full 60 seconds, but being able to switch in new Pokemon is another opportunity, such as choosing a new Pokemon to switch in after getting KO'd. You'll also notice that I'm basically just hovering over the option to check a Pokemon summary in-game. Because Orbeetle Sticky Web is in its first move slot, I don't have to click it myself. The game will default to it for me. Instead, I wait until the last second before choosing to view a Pokemon summary screen to temporarily bring up the summary screen, which causes about an extra second of time to be used as it switches between displays. Starting off the turn, both Tyranitar and Snover will Dynamax. By itself, Dynamaxing takes a good chunk of time, since you have to sit through the Dynamax animation and the extended animations from Max moves. This setup relies on Snover not having consumed any Dynamax candies, so its HP will only be 1.5 times the starting HP, rather than the usual 2 times. Both Orbeetle now set Sticky Web, which will soon come in handy for the loops I'm about to do. Tyranitar goes for Max Darkness based on Crunch. With my setup, it's possible for Snover to be KO'd here, and also to take too little damage for a necessary part of my setup later. Because Max Darkness lowers special defense, Orbeetle is able to switch out with its Eject Pack. And this is where the loop starts to happen. We're going to be doing a summary screen timeout again, and since we're switching in a Pokemon, that means our third Weezing is the default Pokemon that will come in. Weezing's ability Neutralizing Gas will be one of the keys to extending this loop further, the other being its item, Eject Pack. Once the timer runs down to 0, the magic starts to happen. In the meantime, you might notice all my Pokemon are nicknamed No. This is actually a symbol in the game's nickname options, and I assume it actually stands for number. I chose it because it looked like it was the longest character possible, which means the game takes ever so slightly longer to say the Pokemon's name when it's required for showing which move they used or for other actions. Weezing comes in, shiny of course to waste extra time, and triggers Neutralizing Gas. Immediately afterwards, Sticky Web lowers Weezing's speed, triggering its Eject Pack and forcing it back out. Because Neutralizing Gas left the field, all entrance abilities reactivate by order of speed, which means Frisk goes off and reveals both Snover's Sticky Barb and the Eject Pack that Weezing just consumed, as well as turns Sandstorm and Hail on and off by reactivating those abilities. We're forced right back out into the switch screen again, and as you can see, we have 3 more Weezing to go. Compared to last time, I have to manually time Weezing switching in at 1 second. I can't do a summary screen timeout again, because that would just put me back into Orbeetle and end my side of the loop. This process repeats for a while, so I'd encourage you to skip ahead to the timestamp posted currently on the screen when something more interesting happens. If you go there, I'll just be getting ready to switch in my Ore Beetle after completing the eject pack neutralizing gas loops, and we'll see Snover take its action for the turn. With Orbeetle sent out, Frisk reveals both items from the opponent, and Snover finally gets to take its turn. Max Woodhammer hits Orbeetle for a bit of damage, setting Grassy Terrain later for end of turn effects, as well as triggering Orbeetle's eject button. From here, it's exactly the same thing as what I did on my side earlier. Wait 60 seconds, send in Wheezing, and repeat until you're out of eject packs. Like last time, if you want, you can skip ahead to the timestamp posted on the screen if you don't want to see Wheezing reset Sand and Hail 4 more times. With around 2 minutes remaining in the match, Anubis sends out Orbeetle again, which means all the Weezing loops are done. However, the turn's not over yet. The end of turn effects start off by dealing hail damage to every Pokemon on the field except Snover. Next, Grassy Terrain heals back that hail damage for every Pokemon, and restores a bit of HP for Snover as well. The Sticky Barb from Tyranitar deals it a small amount of damage, but more importantly, the Sticky Barb from Snover deals enough damage to KO it even after the initial Grassy Terrain recovery. With about a minute remaining, I pause on the switch screen for a final time this turn to squeeze out the small amount of time needed to end this game in a single turn. After sending in one of my Weezing, you can see we've already done it. There's only 4 seconds remaining, and that extra time is easily accounted for by the shiny animation and Neutralizing Gas reactivating once again. With 0 seconds on the clock going into turn 2, this match is over once we input our moves for the turn. Since my Snover was KO'd, Anubis has more Pokemon remaining than me and will win the match. But let's be honest, who's the real winner here? And that's all for this week's Mechanics Monday. Until next time, have a good one.